respected teachers, the practitioners, homeopathy practitioners, my colleagues, and my dear friends. A very good afternoon to all of you again today on this platform on the behalf of Divine School of Homeopathy. So, since long time we are learning something regarding the homeopathy in this session. Actually today I have considered or I have discussed with you that today we are going to start with the organon. Yes, definitely. But before that there were few more questions were asked on the group. And that's why before going into the organon, we'll directly start with some questions. We'll discuss answers for those questions and then we'll go ahead with the organon. Yes, this is very good initiative in the students' minds or practitioners' minds that they started thinking and questions are coming. Because question itself suggests that you are thinking. And for a homeopath, process of thinking, a logic should be developed. And if it is happening with the students, it definitely indicates that you are getting stimulated to practice homeopathy in future. And this is most important thing what should happen in the life of the homeopathic student. So first question was there that during first 4 to 6 weeks of pregnancy, can we give homeopathic medicines? This is a good question because this came from the materialist mind because in allopathy they generally avoids all types of medicines in first 4 to 6 weeks because a lot of side effects or a lot of effects of the medicines happens to be there on the fetus inside, and that's why they in allopathy they avoids number of medicines during this first 4 to 6 weeks. But we are giving homeopathic medicines which are dynamic medicines which doesn't contain any material. It is just a dynamic stimulus, most safe during any time of pregnancy. So there is no problem that it will affect or disturb the fetus. In fact, I will suggest that if you give a proper homeopathic medicine to the mother, considering her constitution, considering her every aspect, then definitely it will be helpful to remove the miasmatic problems developing in the child. And that's why it is very safe to give a homeopathic medicine because it is not a medicine, it is just a dynamic stimulus, and that's why it will not going to produce any harm to the mother. Only thing is that don't go on repeating so much of medicines to the patient which are unnecessary, or sometimes which are unnecessary repetition. So first question, that it is always safer to give homeopathic medicines in pregnancy. Then second question was that I have to start with ABCD of homeopathy. How should I proceed? Yes, this is the problem of a number of homeopathic students and even number of homeopathic practitioners or those who started who are doing allopathic practice but they want now to go for homeopathic practice. Yes, I will suggest that basic books of the homeopathy must be there. Basic books means at least for the learning the organon, 6th edition of organon of medicine. Second, the materia medica when you are learning, the Allen's keynotes and Borik's materia medica, basic books of the homeopathy. Third important book, in order to develop the proper concept and understanding of homeopathy, I will suggest go for Dr. Rajan Sankaran's Spirit of Homeopathy, followed by A Substance of Homeopathy. And Soul of Remedies is again a materia medica, but after getting very clear with the basic books, then you read the Soul of Remedies or other books. This is in fact to start with, this is very important. If you don't get anything from organon, just go through my blog. Number of aphorisms are explained on my blog. It is drprasadrasal.blogspot.in, drprasadrasal blogspot.in. So drprasadarsar.blogspot.in, you can get a lot of explanation about the aphorism. So the philosophy, 3 books are very much necessary. The Kent's Philosophy, H.A. Roberts, The Principle and Practice of Homeopathy, and Stuart Close, The Genius of Homeopathy. But I will suggest that start with the Kent, then read the Robert, and then read the Close. Because the language which is used in Close is little bit difficult to digest for the newcomers or those who are from Marathi medium. So these are the books with which you approach. If there are, take a good dictionary along with you. If you get obstructed at any level, if you don't understand the meaning of any sentence or any word, just open dictionary, find it out meaning of the word, understand it in your mother tongue, and then go ahead. So that will be a good way of learning. Without understanding the first sentence, don't go towards the second sentence. This is most important thing, keep in your mind. So unless and until you understand sentence by sentence, you cannot go ahead, or you cannot understand the homeopathy. And that's why it is necessary to understand every word whenever you are reading any homeopathic book. So this is how you have to start, and you have to go ahead. Then third question was there, that if there is a fibrolipoma, whether to go for constitutional or organ remedy. Yes, definitely constitutional remedy plays a very vital role. But I will suggest that organ remedy also plays its own role. Both are remedies of a different pace. Constitutional remedy generally selected on the basis of a constitution of the human being. It generally takes its own time to develop its action. Fibroid is the condition, fibroadenoma is the condition, or fibrolipoma is condition, all those tumors which are gradually developed in your body or in patient's body. And if you want to remove that, it will take long time, and patient expects early result. So I suggest generally that in certain cases, organ remedies plays their own role. You can use them depending which organ remedy you are using, whether to use it in mother tincture form, whether to use it in the low potencies, or that depends upon the remedy. It never depends on, and also depends upon the situation. But constitutional remedy in a single dose or 3-4 doses followed by organ remedy is a good combination that I will go for. There will be controversy regarding this topic, that sir, giving a single simple medicine is told by Hahnemann and you are doing such a thing. I must admit that I follow Hahnemann and I follow his path. He said that you do the experiment, and that's why he has done experiment throughout the life. And that experiment came to the 6th edition of Organon of Medicine, and thereafter the experiment stopped. No one wants to go ahead with experiments and put their own efforts in order to treat the patient. If you utilize in this manner, the way I am explaining, try your level best. If you feel better, yes, it works, you utilize. If you do feel that it never works, stop at that time. But at least utilize what I want to suggest. So a constitutional medicine followed by organ remedy for such thing is a good solution in order to get an early result. So this is what I used to do in my practice. I use this mother tinctures. There was a question that describe details about the mother tinctures, how to use mother tinctures. Mother tinctures I used to use for the palliative purpose in my practice, but discussing mother tinctures is a complete different issue. It takes 1 or 2 lectures to discuss the mother tinctures. So I will just tell you that mother tincture have their own role, because certain times, it is not every time you are going to get a functional cases in your lifetime. You definitely get pathological cases. When you practice at a rural level, village level, patients doesn't know what is the difference between cure and a palliation. They only feel that they should feel better after taking the medicines. At that time, utilizing a mother tincture plays a very vital role in order to gain the confidence of the patient. and for that purpose, number of times role of mother tincture plays very important role in your practice. So I will suggest that you definitely utilize mother tincture. I will take a separate lecture whenever time permits on the mother tincture, and I will guide you how do I use the mother tinctures. And the same is true for the biochemic medicines also. That also will take one separate or two separate lectures in order to discuss all those things. There was one question that, sir, please describe the relation between miasm and potency. Actually, I have discussed it that miasm and potency, there is no direct correlation. Miasm is one of the factor along with the constitution to develop the susceptibility. Susceptibility always develops on these two important things. So it depends. Generally, psoriatic patient who is an average generally have active participation or activeness in him. He is alert enough. Generally have a little bit high susceptibility. So psoriatic patients who are having high susceptibility, generally, if they are presenting an acute disorder, you have to think of a high potency. But again, the question arises that if psoriatic patient having a pathology well advanced, at that time you might have to come down even to the low potency or moderate potency. It depends on situation. There is no direct correlation between the miasm and potency. Same is true that regarding the psychotics. Psychotics are generally slow, dull. That's why they are not too much active like psoriatic. So in such patients, generally susceptibility is low. Generally you require the low potency. But again, this is not the rule. It may be varies from person to person. And third, syphilitic or tubercular, both are active. Both in tubercular, it is highly increased susceptibility is there. Generally requires high potency. But again, it is a question, a rule depends upon that it's the situation of the patient. And last point, that is syphilitic, there are two extremes, either too high or either too low. And accordingly, if too high potency, if too low potency, depends upon patient's condition, patient's disease, remedy which you have chosen. It depends upon the circumstances also. So there is no fixed correlation between miasm and the homeopathy potency of the remedy. Then one more question was there. What about the rare remedies and local remedies? What potency we must use? Basically, I will suggest that rare remedies or organ remedies doesn't have a good proving, and that's why, as they are not having a good proving, you don't know the complete materia medica of that, and that's why it's too important that to start with low and gradually go ahead. If it works after starting your remedy, you feel that patient is getting settled and his generalities are also improving. It is your duty to write down what gets settled, which is not in the remedy, but which is getting settled or getting cured with your remedy. If it is in something new which is not included earlier in the materia medica, you can add it as a clinical symptom in your materia medica, and that thing, if it happens, it is a good help to develop a materia medica of the rare medicines. And that's why I will suggest that these in such manner you go ahead with the rare remedies or organ remedies and gradually go on increasing the doses. There was one question, good question for the from one practitioner, that sir, if a patient's relatives comes and they ask you that doctor तुमच्याकडे दारू सोडायला औषध आहे का, आणि त्याला आपल्याला त्याच्या नकळत औषध देता येईल का? मी सरळ तुम्हाला सांगेल की पेशंट जर राजी नसेल त्याला दारू सोडण्यासाठी, तर असं मेडिसिन देऊ नका. लीगली he can do anything, he can take action against you, so don't go for it. You tell them clearly, त्याच्या नकळत नाही द्यायचं. त्याची इच्छा आहे का सोडायची, त्याची इच्छा असेल त्याला इथं घेऊन या. We have ample remedies to treat such a thing, but don't give any medicine. He can directly claim you that you have given the poison, and at that time you will be in problem because of this. So even though whoever may be patient who is very close to you, tell them directly, unless and until patient is here, I will not going to give you remedy for that purpose. And this is my personal opinion. The people gives or don't give, I don't know, but I generally consider, whenever I used to do anything, I'll generally consider the medical legal aspects in my practice. And for not getting affected at the medical legal level, we have to consider or we have to follow certain paths, and one of them is that don't give medicine directly for that purpose. There is one more last question which we will going to discuss. सर, स्वभावाला औषध देता येईल का? आणि एखादा घरातल्या व्यक्तींच्या बाबतीमध्ये खूप प्रॉब्लेम येतो की घरातले लोक काहीच माहिती देत नाही, त्यांचे मेंटल्स देत नाही. त्यावेळेला त्यांना कसं काय मग मेडिसिन द्यायचं, त्यांची स्टेट आपल्याला समजत नाही. अँड हाऊ कॅन वी गिव द होमिओपॅथिक मेडिसिन टू द पीपल इन आवर हाऊस और इन आवर होम. तर आणि दुसरा प्रश्न होता त्याच्यातला, एखादा घरातले व्यक्ती चिडका असेल, विक्षिप्त असेल, तर आपल्या औषधाने त्याचा स्वभाव बदलता येईल का? टू थिंग्स. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज दॅट when you are taking the case of the person who is there in your house, who used to stay in your house, why it is necessary to ask the nature of that person? Basically, if he is there with you, you know everything about him. You perceive each and everything of the persons from the home, how their nature is. If you are asking the question, it means that you have not perceived anything in your life. So basically it depends, you understand them properly. Only thing is that to look towards them with that angle as a patient. Think before prescribing, how is his regular nature, how he behaves, how he is behaving with others. All the things you can get, and in fact you get ample regarding the people who are staying in your house. So there is no question of asking anything regarding the nature or regarding their mental aspect. It is your duty to pursue that from the patient. So it's too simple to find it out a remedy with them. It is not difficult part. What happens, we generally think that we should take a case, keeping a case paper in front of us and asking in the similar manner as we used to ask the patient never remains with you, and that's why it happens that you have to ask his nature, or you have to understand or perceive his nature. If the patient is very familiar with you, you can give him a remedy very easily because already you have perceived him, and that's why it automatically happens that you utilize your logic, you think about them, how the nature is there, and find it out a remedy. It's too simple. The next part out of it is very important. स्वभावाला औषध देता येईल का? स्वभावाला औषध असतं म्हणजे कसं, तर स्वभाव म्हणजे काय? देर आर टू थिंग्स. एक स्वभाव म्हणजे जो माणूस जसा जन्माला आला तो त्याचा टेम्परामेंट घेऊन आलेला आहे. टेम्परामेंट हा माणसाचा थोडासा स्वभाव दाखवतो, त्याची वृत्ती दाखवतो. ते टेम्परामेंट पूर्णच्या पूर्ण बदलता येत नसतं, पण तू त्या टेम्परामेंटमधला एनर्जी जी असते, बिकॉज ऑफ विच ही इज बिहेविंग राऊडली और बिकॉज ऑफ ही इज बिहेविंग in something angry manner, irritable manner, or sometimes offending, that can be settled with the help of homeopathic medicine. एखाद्या माणसामध्ये हे दोष असतात, हे दोष हळूहळू आफ्टर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मेडिसिन डेफिनेटली गेट सेटल्ड अँड पर्सन कॅन बिकम्स calm and quiet. But a person who is conscientious enough will not going to get or will not going to change. There is no medicine which touches the internal mind of the human being. Medicine touches to the external mind, and what our medicine do, it is a voyage from the external mind to internal mind, and homeopathic medicine stimulates it, that voyage, that traveling or that motion from the external mind to the internal mind. That means from the conscience towards the conscience from the external mind, and that is in fact if your remedy is very perfect, it acts at that level and it goes into a very perfect conscience state. म्हणजेच काय होतं, कन्सायन्स म्हणजे काय तर सत्सत विवेक बुद्धी. प्रत्येक माणसात एव्हरी ह्युमन बिईंग इज हॅव्हिंग दिस. आपण त्यालाच असं म्हणतो की एव्हरी ह्युमन बिईंग कॅरीज आर एव्हरी ह्युमन बिईंग हॅज अ गॉड इनसाइड इट. What is God? God is nothing but this inner conscience which remains in the internal mind of the human being. It should get stimulated. If it develops gradually, you become more and more and more and more miasmatic. सो युअर मायाझम्स म्हणजे काय तर मायाझम्स म्हणजे दोष आहेत तुमच्यातले, ते तुम्ही घेऊन आले जन्माला आल्यावर आणि त्याच्यावर अनेक प्रकारचे वेगवेगळे संस्कार होऊन ते मायाझम एक तर डेव्हलप होत जातं किंवा मायाझम्समधले दोष कमी होत जातात. सो इट इज द चेंजिंग प्रोसेस. अँड if you give your proper homeopathic medicine depending on all things, constitution, miasm, susceptibility, everything about the person, and it is a right perfect stimulus, it removes a miasmatic force and patient can turn towards the miasmatic way or towards the miasmatic. So miasmatic is nothing but he is going towards the consciousness more, he starts conscience more, he starts understanding more, and that is the importance of the homeopathic medicine to act. So homeopathic medicine is nothing but a medicine to remove the disease from the body. It is a way of life. That's what I used to say whenever I used to prescribe homeopathic medicine. And it happens number of times in the life of the human being. You observe, you give a right stimulus and you see that he has changed a lot. Patient talks himself and explains, डॉक्टर माझ्यात खूप फरक पडला. पूर्वी मी असं नव्हतं, पूर्वी मी खूप चिडचिड करायचो, मला धीर नसायचा, पटकन कुठली गोष्ट अशी व्हावीशी. आता मी स्टेबल झालो, आता मला काही वाटत नाही, आता मी कुठल्याही गोष्टी व्यवस्थित करू शकतो. This is the very important thing, that it is happening in this manner, but it never happens within a day. It takes its own time. Constitution never changes so fast, and same is true that temperament never changes immediately. It takes little bit time to act, and your remedy, it depends which potency you have used. If you want to make changes at these dynamics of the human being, your potency should be always high, which is called as metaphysical potency. Potency above 1M, that means 10M, 50M, CM potencies, these are called as, or above than that are available but which we generally never utilizes. MM, DM potencies are there, but these potencies are called as metaphysical potencies. And these metaphysical potencies always works at this level and makes the changes in the human life. So this is possible with the help of a proper homeopathic stimulus, and lot of changes can happen. So these were the questions in regarding the lot of questions which were there, and I have tried my level best to discuss number of questions in this session. Yes, I know that you are waiting for news.